The wounded masculine, in his way of showing up, is, as I've noticed, in this way of twisting everything that you say to them, especially if it's about a boundary or clarity that you're having or just wanting to bring your truth. Parts of them tend to twist what you've said, use it against you, but mostly, and I want to emphasize this, it's actually against themselves. This is something that came up for me again yesterday with another masculine interaction I was having with a former boyfriend of mine. After I set a boundary that was firm but not fiery, it was just firm, and he twisted it against me and started to read me out and say things about me, drawing conclusions about who I am or things like that. So I've had this happen. This is a pattern now since the summer. Especially, this has really been highlighted for me. So it's interesting it came up again yesterday. So at this point, I can't ignore or downplay not just the impact that it's had on me, but wondering what's going on inside of me that's drawing this. So what's happening in these interactions with men on the outside is that they'll take what I'm saying. Even my recent video about safety with the masculine, there was someone who commented who clearly didn't totally get what I was trying to say and then kind of twisted it to suit his narrative. And this is what the wounded masculine tends to do. So I have compassion for that. And that twisting that happens, I understand it a bit more now than I used to. So it's not, I don't just feel hurt by it or this ache to finally get beyond that with men. I also feel like there's something to try and understand about why this is happening, why that's happening inside of them. And quite often it's trauma. There's a lot of stuff with women that has been really painful. So it tends to come out, lately it's coming out at me. I'm sure it's come out at you sometimes as well. Even if you're a male who's friends with a wounded masculine kind of type who leans more that way, you may have experienced it as well. Something coming at you and making their problems about you somehow perpetuating their issues, which they aren't really addressing inside. So where I'm choosing to take this inside now, as per the invitation from my teacher, Jalelle, I was leaning into her around it last night going, I don't know what this pattern is. This feels karmic, but it just, for some reason, didn't occur to me that it could be a part, which is usually a strategy from a part. So she and I were talking it through more this morning. I was up in the middle of the night for a couple of hours trying to digest what was going on, because even last night she said, well, this could be an externalized inner critic. And I've worked with inner critics, inner punishers for many years in my process, most of them masculine. So I just was like, you know what, that resonates very deeply and is very empowering actually for me, because then I'm not externalizing, I'm not allowing it to just be an externalized reality. I'm acknowledging this is happening inside. Something needs me inside, or I wouldn't be receiving this mirror. So where I'm taking this now, after talking with Jalelle about it this morning, I'm already starting to feel this inner masculine. And actually, interestingly, just the other day I was talking to my soul sister, Sarah, about, I don't know, I'm open to an inner masculine coming forward, but I don't feel one right now, and I don't really understand why. Because I don't have a masculine mate on the outside to represent that inner masculine. So where is he? And I was like, well, maybe I just don't really have a trailing edge masculine right now. And at the time, that felt true. But now, after this reflection yesterday from yet another incident with the outer masculine, I was like, okay, something's going on inside that must be paralleling here. So Jalelle was helping me kind of suss out this inner masculine and the way that he's been operating inside. So when we work with a part like this, it's really not about, oh, you're a punisher, you're awful, I don't want to connect with you, you're terrible, and parts of you may feel that way, and they can be really prickly and difficult to get to the heart of. But after this many years of doing this work, I find it moves pretty quickly. So I can already feel him softening just from having my attention and my compassion turned toward him. and compassion for the fact that he hasn't had much room to express in a healthy way inside of me. I haven't been able to feel or acknowledge him because of all the stuff going on with my feminine aspects in recent months in reaction to the outer masculine. So he's been looking at the outer masculine going, I don't really want to be like them, but here are some behaviors that maybe will get your attention. Or we'll just keep drawing it on the outside until you can see me. So this is quite a sacred time for me to really be feeling this inner masculine, because I can already feel how this isn't how he wants to be. And this is definitely not what he wants to keep drawing to me on the outside. But because he and I don't have a relationship yet, and we certainly don't have a sacred union going on inside between us, there isn't really a buffer for those energies. They're just going to keep coming in. So I feel like this is the beginnings of a new inner love affair on a new level that I'm very excited about, actually, and again, relieved by. Because the more that we project outward our things that are going on inside, the more that we draw the outward, the more tempted we are to just think it's all external, but it's really not. And there's an aspect of him where he's channeling, I believe, the collective wounded masculine in some way. So there's an opportunity here for me to also understand the wounded masculine from another perspective. Not to mate with the wounded masculine, but just to have compassion and forgiveness toward what I've received that really hasn't been about me at the heart of it. So I'm really excited to upend this pattern that has been really very real for me, especially since the summer, like I said, of realizing, okay, wait, this isn't working. This isn't feeling good. Actually, this doesn't feel loving or nourishing, what's going on right now. No. And just trying to say no, and then getting a whole bunch of blowback and readout and being told who I am. And that's extremely painful. This has been a very painful, achy cycle to be in. And I know I'm not alone. This is probably what people call the empath narcissist kind of feedback loop. But I think it's deeper than the labels of empath versus narcissist. There's many textures and nuances here. And as soon as we label it empath narcissist, that can be helpful to a certain degree, but also creates a ceiling of understanding and compassion, because we've just drawn a conclusion rather than trying to understand what's going on inside that's creating the draw on the outside. So I wanted to share that today, and I will obviously be updating, because the whole point of these videos is that raw reality of how I'm processing my reality right now and my navigation of sacred union inside and out, to hopefully model possibilities for you, other ways you can feel it and experience it for yourself. And as always, you're more than welcome to check us out. Actually, speaking of sacred union, Raphael and Shalel, my teachers, they have been in a sacred union for more than 15 years now. They are starting to offer, along with us in the community, Sunday services, and they are free to attend on Zoom. It'll be probably an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, and there will be an opportunity to possibly share. There'll be a guided meditation. Others of us will be sharing, so me, Sarah, Rihanna will be sharing as well, and possibly holding the space at some point, but this will be every Sunday, and donations are very welcome for that space, but you're welcome to just attend and just hang out in the energies, calibrate to them, and feel us out deeper, and if our offerings resonate for you in terms of coming a bit closer through sessions and things like that. So lots of love. Bye for now.